Tammy Gooding with you, and well, if you fancy doing something a little bit special, how do you fancy a big show at Huntingdon Hall tomorrow night? It's a celebration of the music of John Lennon, and it's courtesy of a man who, well, has done an awful lot with this. We've seen him a lot on the telly. It's Gaz Keenan. Hello, Gaz.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I know you've been on ITV's The Big Audition. You've been on This Morning.
Yes.
I want to kind of rewind. Why John Lennon? How did that come about?
It came about because a big Beatles tribute band called the Bootleg Beatles were auditioning for a new John Lennon. And my wife said to me, well, you know, you play music, you're a Scouser, you got a big nose, why don't you go for it? So it went from there really, and I was unsuccessful with that one. I only had about 2 weeks to prepare, so it was a bit of a struggle. And then I just carried it on, and ended up going on the big audition. And and then this morning with Phil and Holly, which was surreal.
I can imagine. I can imagine. They look like they have a hoot. Did you have fun?
It was, yeah. It was good fun. I was on for maybe 30 seconds singing "Give Peas a Chance" because it was National Pea Day or something like that. The things we do, things we do.
You know, hey, it's exposure. It's exposure. This is good. Well, it's interesting, really, that your show comes to town around this time because obviously we got that Beatles documentary, Get Back, getting a lot of attention at the moment. Directed by Peter Jackson, the guy behind Lord of the Rings. Have you seen it? Any good?
Yeah, I have. I've watched the first two parts. I was just going on to the third part, but that's the bit where they go to the rooftop and do the concert. And I want to make sure that I can 100% dedicate my attention to watching that. So I'm leaving that as a bit of a climax.
Because I suppose in that sense, it's important for you to immerse yourself in as much Beatle culture as you can in order to get the mannerisms, in order to get under the skin of the man. Because he wasn't just a brilliant, prolific musician, John Lennon, but he was a really interesting man with opinion, wasn't he? He wasn't afraid to. He didn't hold back, did he?
No, he was very complex. He was very, very complex, and that's what attracts me to him is the complexity of him and the emotion that he put into everything. That's really what I love about the guy is he's not your average bloke.
You're right there. You're darn right there. Yeah. And interesting that you're doing this show tomorrow at Huntingdon Hall because when it comes to John Lennon's life story, of course, this month, the fateful and sad time in the calendar of his life, 8th of December, wasn't it, 1980?
When the 8th or was it the 9th?
Well, there you go, you see. Perhaps I'm wrong. You will know more than me, sir.
I think it was the 9th.
Well, there you go.
I'm probably going to get lynched here. No, I won't Google it.
I'll go with the 9th then.
I think so.
I know it was 1980. I know that much because I can remember it. I remember my parents going, oh, my God, and being shocked. And I was like, what's happened? And they were trying to explain to me, because I was only a kid. I was like 7 or 8. And God, John Lennon's been shot. He's dead. And they were like really mortified. I don't imagine you were around. Were you around? You don't look old enough to have been around.
Only just. Certainly wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah.
I missed out on that really, which is not a bad thing.
No, absolutely. But anyone who was around, who's old enough to have been around then, will remember where they were. It's one of those, isn't it? You remember where you were when John Lennon died. And I think, I wonder, had John Lennon still been around, do you think he'd still be making music? And what impact do you think he'd be making on the world? Because it was his sensibility and his politics as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think he would have probably gone back to making music because obviously he took a bit of a hiatus when he went to New York and with Yoko and his son. But I think he would have carried on. And it's who knows which way he would have gone. But I would imagine that he'd have carried on being very political, being very in everybody's face. And I'm not sure what he'd make of the current situation. I'm sure he'd have a few things to say about it.
I think he probably would. As for your show, tell us how you are bringing John Lennon's music to life on stage at Huntingdon Hall tomorrow. Talk us through the show.
Okay, well, the show is called Lennon Retrospective. And what we do is we start with his later work. So that's how we start the show. and then we slowly work back through his solo career, and then through the later Beatles stuff, the psychedelic stuff, the really interesting stuff. And then we culminate in all the early stuff. So the twist and shouts, please, please, me's, and all the dancey stuff. And it's designed so that, the first half is sort of sitting down, listening, watching. And as it progresses, when everybody's had a shandy or a wine, over their masks, whatever, they can then have a bit of a dance if we're allowed.
Sure thing. Yeah, it's really, really difficult times. But nonetheless, you're on tomorrow at Huntingdon Hall. Have you played there before? It's a lovely venue for this.
Yeah, it's a lovely venue. I played there in another band, but never with the John Lennon. It's first for the John Lennon band, but it's a lovely venue. It's nice and intimate. It's a lovely setting. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you well tomorrow. And for anyone going along, it sounds to me like you're in for a treat. If you go to worcestertheatres.co.uk, you can get your tickets.
That's the one, yes.
Or it's 01905 611 427. 611 427 is the box office number for Worcester Theatres. You get to see a fantastic show. If you're a John Lennon fan, go along. You're going to love this guy. It's going to be awesome. Good luck tomorrow in Worcester. Hope it goes really, really well. And thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me on.